the People's Podcast. What's up, y'all? This is DJ Busby.
And it's your boy JKD.
And this is the People's Podcast. And you can find our podcast on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
Yes, sir.
It's probably uploaded in places I don't even know.
Probably.
But just type in the People's, PPLS,
Right.
the People's Podcast. Now, we got to get things started. This is the second half of the show.
Yes,
As
sir.
I said, we're wearing the same clothes. Okay, so if you're seeing us now
Buzzed in bed.
versus last, okay. We spoke about this. We spoke about this last week. You're supposed to be with me on this. You didn't bathe if that's the case. Anyway, we're just continuing off the episode because I'm actually in London, England, as we air right now. I am in the UK.
Right.
And it was a pleasure. I'm speaking in advance, but it was a pleasure to see all my UK bruv them,
Right.
the top boys in it.
So you went from Thursday to what day? Sunday?
Thursday to Sunday, yeah.
Okay.
No, Thursday to Monday.
Thursday, Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So vibes,
Right.
extra vibes. We'll talk more about that on next week's episode.
Okay.
One thing I didn't bring up last week that I forgot to mention, want to send a huge and special shout out to Jasmine
Right.
Lee
Yeah. Big up Jasmine.
on the episode regarding real estate.
Right.
Excellent episode once again.
Did you get any feedback from that? Like from
Absolutely.
Just, okay. What were people saying?
She's sexy as hell. but,
Of course.
but no, people did say I appreciated the content. But you know the matter. Yeah, she's sexy man, I know. She's sexy man, I know. You in Trinidad right now. What are you gonna do, bro? And you know what's funny?
What?
Days later, huh?
Right.
The man get his Canadian visa. Oh god. Anyway, big up Jasmine Lee.
Right.
One thing I want to say about that before we proceed with the show is, bro, how I wish we kept these cameras and microphones recorded.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Because the podcast was amazing.
Right.
But I wish that hour and a half we spoke after the podcast,
It was like 2 hours, bro.
that should have been the
Yeah,
podcast.
it was like 2 hours.
Oh my God, that should have been the podcast. Bro,
It was amazing. It was an amazing conversation.
amazing. She had me thinking, bro.
Yep.
I couldn't go to sleep that night.
Not just you, me too.
You too?
Yeah.
See? I literally couldn't go to sleep that night because
Right.
my mind was running on so many ideas.
Right.
Just simply speaking to her.
Right.
My IQ done gone up. How many points? Just talking to her about.
Easy there. You're not Einstein yet.
Okay.
Bro.
All right. Like my juices
No, I get
started
it.
flowing, you know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
downstairs. I like orange now. What do you want me to say? Orange is my new favorite color. But anyway, no, big up Jasmine Lee, bro.
Right.
Amazing guest once again, and we thank her so much for sharing that valuable information. I have met with her by this point. I met with her
Okay.
to discuss getting into real estate.
Nice.
So, next episode, once I fully have that meeting, I'll probably share, that journey with you guys.
Okay.
Because a big thing is sharing the actual journey and the story and making it relatable. Because JKD and I are two average people
Right.
from Scarborough.
Right.
We not no special, but it's the journey that's important and making it relatable
Absolutely.
to you guys.
Absolutely.
And knowing that we could do what we're doing and seeing what that does for our business to evolve means that you guys should be
Right.
and can do it yourselves.
Right.
But this is the People's Podcast, and we're here with another episode. So
Sure.
as we get things moving, we have a couple topics to discuss.
Yes. Yes. And one of them is wealth.
Wealth.
Like, I know we always talk about wealth, but
The cream. The cream.
I kind of want to dive into the whole wealth and family, keeping wealth and building wealth with family.
Mm.
We alter this podcast so we can impact people, right? Yeah. And we can be that change when it comes down to talking about wealth and talking about finances and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I never fully took in consideration of how important wealth is until I got married.
Mm.
And then on top of that, when I started to have kids.
Mm.
And there were things that came up. For example, it's like, JKD, do you have life insurance? what the hell is that?
Facts.
You know?
Do you have a will?
JKD, do you have a will? JKD, do you have assets that you want to put down in writing where, you know, if something did happen to you, who's getting that? Mm-hmm. And those are conversations that we need to have within our family.
And you know what's scary? I think, sorry to cut you, but sometimes it's neglected because we don't want to think about those things. I don't want to think about me dying at 33. I really don't.
Right.
But the world's a crazy place.
Right. And just to go back on what you said, I want to pose a question to you. Like in your family, like was that ever taught? Like did all that stuff, like when growing up, like were you taught like wealth on certain things like life insurance and getting wills and all that stuff?
I would say for the most part, no.
Okay.
And I want to elaborate because I don't want to make it seem like my parents didn't do what they had to do.
No, right.
Now, you know, my parents, they were always stuck in a traditional mindset, in my opinion. And that was always go to school, get a job, be able to provide for your family, make it a good job and have benefits where, you know, you don't have to come out of pocket for certain things. That's just all they knew. And by no means am I downplaying what they did. Right. I love my parents dearly. Right. You know, but that's all they knew. Yeah. And you can't fault them for that. And even with that being all they do, I'm out here. Right. I've met so many people in my lifetime based off of what I do as a DJ in life in general. Right. And my parents did an incredible job. Right. You know, I've seen so many broken homes. I've seen so many people like, yo, my parents never taught me anything, really. Right. Some people don't even know their parents, bro. Right. So my parents did amazing. They did what they had to do. And this is, they're coming from a place like Trinidad, both of them. Right. To hear, again, like that jump alone, that traditional systematic thing seems appealing coming from where you're coming from. Absolutely. So them teaching that us is like they're teaching us the gold standard. Right. But we're in a new day and age now where there's so many other things that need to be considered, factored in, worked on, invested in, etc. Right. So with that aspect of things, I don't feel like they ever taught me the credentials that are needed today. Right. And you know, that's more or less where I come from with my parents. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Well, like you, similar to situation as me. My mom never really, typical parents teach you how to save and all that stuff, but they never really knew the details in terms of like life insurance and all that stuff, and into stocks and all that stuff. They never knew all that stuff. All they knew is just save your money. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And with that being said, is like I've seen the positives and I've seen the negatives in terms of wealth within the family. I've known. Now I'm learning things what not to do, and things that I should stay away from. And I think that's a really key in terms of, just raising a family and providing that information to your young ones. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Again, with all that being said, is that I feel like, for me personally, as the head of the household, that we need to make better decisions. With that being said, like what I'm trying to say with that is that we need to take more accountability, and prioritize certain things. Again, I'll bring up a situation or something that we did. Do you remember when we purchased that Lexus? Hold on, the Lexus or the Batmobile? The Batmobile thing. Yo, guys, look at my Batmobile.
Which one was that?
The Lexus.
Yeah, the Batmobile. Oh, that's what you called it? That's
what you called it. You talking to this man? That's what you called it. My post big car on social media. Look,
yo, guys. That Lexus was nice though, bro.
If it was nice,
that Lexus was nice.
I felt bad dropping that jerk chicken rice. You don't have to fight. You drunk. Jerk chicken
that cheesed me too, eh?
You see?
Because I told him
talk to me about making mess. You know how much mess I've had to clean? This man leave Oreos here for about 3 weeks open, An Oreo case open. Just resting on my couch, bare spiders and centipedes down there. Well, I was drunk, all right? On my bad.
No, but I bring up that because, again, that was something that, yeah, we could have afforded. We could afford it. You know what I'm saying? Me and my wife were making good money, but at the end of the day, I'm putting money. If you understand money, I'm putting money into a depreciated asset, and that car was not making money for me. You know, like people could buy a car and could make money off of it, but that car was definitely not making money off it. I wasn't making money off of that car. So, with that being said, maybe within a year of having it, I took it back. I said,
Didn't you get 2 cars for that?
I got pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, we got 2 economic cars that work on, you know, on our benefits for me and my wife. And that's how we're choosing to live, just because like we're living within our means. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. A lot of people want to drink champagne on ginger ale belly.
That's why I say ace of spades on a Coke belly.
Exactly.
Hey. All right.
And I'm sorry to say this, but like, I'm sorry to say this, but look, like, it's in our community. Like I see that a lot in our community. Mm-hmm. You tell me I go to a hood, I go to the hood, I see a Mercedes Benz, the newest Mercedes Benz G-Wagon parked outside of a hood. You value a car over a house, of even getting a house, something that's of value that can make you money. But you worry about material things. That's what I call it. Vanity. You worry about vanity.
Something that we noticed recently was going to New York.
Exactly.
Drove through the hood.
Right.
All you're seeing is the nicest of nice cars parked outside of these hellhole looking places.
Right.
Rundown places, but nice cars. So who you think's living there? Them is all the trap houses. But we're not gonna go there.
Yeah. I want to talk on another top. I was listening to.
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I know you're talking about leading by example and doing the right thing.
Yes.
And you know, my parents, like, they didn't really have a plan per se that they spoke to me about.
Yeah.
They did throughout the years, like, you should do this, or you should think about this, you should do this. But my parents were, like you said, leading by example.
Right.
You know, and I always saw them, they were diligent with payments. Payments had to be made at a certain time. Don't be late.
Right.
Having a spreadsheet.
Right.
A, B, C, D. These are all the things we're paying in the household. It's on a spreadsheet. We see it.
Right.
We know what money we need to get in order to pay these bills.
Right.
And that kind of things those things that they ingrained in me are the priceless foundation factors that can be applied to what I need to know today.
True.
So leading by example is important. Don't go buy an ace of spades, but your daughter needs diapers next week and you don't have, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's think about these things.
Right.
And yeah, I just wanted to touch on that.
Right. Again, I was listening to Earn Your Leisure one time, and I think they were interviewing, they're talking to 19 Keys, and he was talking about, he said this thing, and he said, equity versus equality. He said, if we get equity, we confront our equality.
Big fact.
So, like, if we focus on things that can, wealth, and things that can potentially make us money, we confront our equality. Like, meaning we can put people in place of the same color, of the same community, up in positions where they need to be.
Which is what we were talking about here.
Right. And again, you know how they talk about that, you know, that generational wealth gap.
Yeah.
Again, look at the Caucasians, look at the Asians, they're much further ahead in terms of the wealth. And where are we? Trailing.
And not only trailing, we're slowing down.
And we have, and they say that we have, the black community has a $1 trillion like spending power when it comes down to things.
But why is that? We're taught to be consumers.
Yeah.
Like you said, people would quicker buy the champagne bottle than they would investing in stocks.
Absolutely.
That will grow their money 10 times over throughout the years.
Absolutely.
But it's not the sexy thing to do.
Right. Right.
You know, you're buying that bottle for what? To go and impress that girl that's going to mess up the rest of your life?
Right.
You go and have a baby with her now, and then she's tormenting you, and you can't sleep properly because, or not even tormenting. She might be keeping that kid away from you now.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was you buying that bottle that impressed the wrong one.
Right.
I'd rather show a girl my portfolio instead of.
How's the portfolio doing, bud? It's good?
It was a bit red.
You gotta give me some money though.
Me give you money after that NFT story? And that equity you building over there in Pickering? Yeah, buy you. Run some of that equity. Now the portfolio is green finally.
Okay.
But
good.
You can never time the market.
Right.
And to be honest, I bought a lot of stocks right when I got into it because that's what people suggested.
Okay.
But then a couple weeks later, Omicron happened.
Right.
A couple weeks after that, Russia happened. So everything went into red. But it's back green. We doing good.
Okay.
We good out here.
Another point I wanted to talk about because I feel like it is important in terms of building wealth in the family. And everything starts at home. In the Black community, we still think that entertainment and sports is a wealth standard. Meaning, like, we have to be a ball player to get money. We have to be a artist, a rap artist or whatever.
Yeah.
We look towards entertainment to become wealthy, and that's not the case. And I believe that idolatry,
The ideology or whatever?
dialogy
Or dialogy?
starts at home. I don't know when you were growing up. My mom always pushed us to. She liked when we played sports and stuff, but she always pushes us to do like, study your maths.
Yeah.
Be a doctor, be a lawyer, and these are things that are seen in society to be like
I
high.
hated that term. Study your maths. My dad used to say that all the time. Bro, you know how bad it was? My placemat had times table.
Bro, you think that's bad? Bro, I had a bunk bed. I was on the bottom. My
hibiscus?
my timetables was on the top of the board. Bro.
You were waking up to maths.
And so when my parents would come in and they're like, okay, what's 6 times 6? I'll be like, and it's right there. Like, that's how bad it was.
Yeah, my dad said 6 sixes is, 6 fives is. I say, Daddy, I just want to play games.
But it just, with that being said, it's just to show, like, instilling in your kids and in your family that wealth can be generated in whatever you want to do.
Facts.
Example, I bring up my daughter. Like, every night we read to her, and there's this one book that we read, and it's about a black lady. I forgot her name, Mae Jemison or something. Well, she was the first black female to ever go to space or to the moon, something like that. Mm-hmm. And in the book, it's like, I want to be an astronaut. I want to see the world from out there. And there's this one part of the book where she goes to school, and the kids are saying, I want to be a football player. I want to be a veterinarian. I want to do this, all that stuff. And she's like, I want to be an astronaut. And the teacher's like, are you sure you want to do that? Don't you want to be, a nurse, or you want to be, a singer?
No, Karen. I want to go to space.
And in the book, she felt down about that. And that's actually systemic. Like if you see it, it's actually systemic. Like, because it happened to me before. I remember I was in high school, and sorry, not in high school, junior high, and I used to have teachers saying like, do you want to be you should go into playing basketball. You should go playing football because I'm a big black guy. That's why. And it's like it's because it's systemic, bro.
Somebody mentioned, sorry to interject like this, but somebody mentioned the other day, like, bro, if you really deduce what that thought process is,
yeah,
to an extent, it's like slavery.
It is.
It's like you're picking out people based off of how they look and how they're sized for certain tasks. It's like draft picks. It's like slave picks. Like,
It is, bro.
and it's not the players who are the dominant aspects of why the platform is so huge
Right.
that are getting the real paycheck. Motherfuckers from the hood, yeah, a few million, 100 million, let's go. What's the NBA making?
Exactly.
And if all those basketball players collectively got together and made their own NBA, then what?
Absolutely.
But people don't want to listen.
Yep.
Anyway, go ahead.
So with that being said, is it's very systemic, and again, like these are things that we need to teach at home.
Yeah.
I do it every night with my daughter.
Beautiful.
Like, hey, you want to do this?
Mm.
You need to work hard, but you can do whatever you want to bring that, to generate that wealth that you want.
Dope.
You know what I'm saying? So
there was something MV said. MV from Breakfast Club.
yes,
He said, I really took a liking to what he said. He said, to be honest, my kids, same thing like you said. I want them to have the mindset of you could do whatever you put your heart to.
right,
You could be whatever you want to be. And even if my son wants to be a garbage man,
right,
that's fine by me.
right.
But I'm going to teach him how to be the biggest garbage man in the whole
Absolutely.
city, in
Absolutely.
the world.
Right.
I'm going to teach him how to own franchises of garbage trucks.
Right.
And that's kind of why, that's why I'm working so hard as I am now.
Yeah.
I want to be able to provide those kind of opportunities for my kids.
Right.
People always say, you work hard for something you don't even have right now.
Right.
Everybody that you more or less speak to says their kids are the biggest blessings they've ever had in their life.
Absolutely, bro.
There's always that prick that, I don't really. But forget he's probably broken, struggling anyway. But most people,
Right.
their kids are their biggest asset in their life.
Right.
And it's funny we're talking about wealth because it's like, this brought up in a conversation I had with somebody the other day. They have people with guns protecting our money in banks.
Right. Right.
Why isn't why isn't there that same protection in our schools?
Yeah. Yeah.
When our kids are our biggest asset, realistically.
Right.
Why isn't there that kind of more protection than
Exactly.
there is for our money?
Right.
Come on.
Yep.
And to take it back, like I feel like Envy's thought process is amazing, and that's why I'm working so hard, because I want to be able to tell my kids whatever you want to do,
Right.
you could do. I'm not gonna say go out there and do nonsense,
Right.
but put your mind to something. Whatever you have a passion in, I want to teach you how to elevate that to the highest level.
Right.
Even like with people I speak to these days, I don't try and press it on people because I know how that felt when I wasn't always in a place to accept that kind of information.
Right.
So I try not to press it as much for people that I'm not sure whether they're ready to receive that.
Right.
But I do encourage people, like, think bigger.
Right.
There's no need to think in the confines of what you know.
Right. True.
No?
True. With that being said, wealth and family, another big thing that I've noticed, not with our community, but with other communities,
Which one's Jakey? Let's test out this new PR.
The white tees. That's what I call it.
Did we learn nothing?
Wait, bro, I just said Caucasians.
You said white tees, and you emphasized it. So we're
I'm not being racist though.
Okay. All right, Blackie. What if a white person called you Blackie? You're not being racist,
I'm
right?
fine with that. It's okay.
Okay. All right. Sure.
No, but like with that being said, it's like me and my wife have been very observant, especially in terms of like the housing markets and what's going on. Again, I'm seeing a lot of South Asians, a lot of Indian, Tamils, that kind of those communities are buying properties. Not only are they buying properties, they're buying properties with 4 or 5 families living in that one property. And I say, no.
I'm
Why
not.
you died?
Because I went to high school with a bunch of Tamils, and always the mentality was, there's a bunch of Tamils in a little Honda Civic, and you're wondering how all of them got in that car. Men hopping out the trunk.
Right. Again, that's a good example, but that's a prime example of what I'm going into, is because they're actually moving like a unit. They're coming from their respective countries, coming to make a living up here, but they're doing it as one.
Right.
So they're taking on the load together. When they get to a spot where they feel comfortable or they have enough, they move on. And I feel like in our community, we're not like that. We always need our space. You know? And I'm a prime example. Look at my situation with, like, you know, my in-laws. I stayed with them for like how long? You know? We were never on the same page in terms of, like, you know what I'm saying? Of actually like living there and building something. But I'm grateful that they gave me an opportunity to stay there, to save my money, so I can be the head of the household for my family in another home, right?
Nice, yeah.
And I say that to say this, like, if it's possible, that we need to start moving like that. If it's possible,
Yeah.
you know
You
what I'm
don't
saying?
need to force feed relationships and try to push things that don't really work.
Right.
But if you can, it's better to move as a unit than to move
Exactly. Another prime example, like when we went to the pub,
solo. Yeah.
and I asked the waitress, I'm like, yo, who owns this? She's like, yeah, it's this it's a Tama guy. And I'm like, look what they're doing. They're establishing themselves into society, buying homes, you know, not saying nothing's wrong with that. And they're buying businesses, and they're pretty much setting themselves up for generational wealth. Why aren't we doing that? Oh, because we're focused on getting a Birkin bag, or we're focusing on you know, buying that brand new G-Wagon or Land Rover.
That's depreciating.
Know what I'm saying? So, like, I say this to say, it's like, yo, we need to start moving like a unit.
Yeah. Absolutely. I know you have some points that you got for these people as well that you've thoroughly prepared. But before we do that, as you've been mentioning and hinting to the past few times, we've sat down with our first ever, guys.
Yes, sir.
Our first ever sponsor
Right.
of the People's Podcast. You know, at the end of the last show, I was speaking about interns
Right.
and volunteers that could help with the project.
Right.
But what I didn't speak about was, you know, small, any kind of business, not just small.
Right.
Any kind of business. We're developing a platform, becoming thought leaders, having conversations about and developing dialogue within a Caribbean community.
Right.
You know, that's difficult to find. You don't really see that. And that's what we're curating here and trying to build our community, because we see value in our community.
Absolutely.
It's just there's certain issues that we have to get over.
Right.
Break those generational curses to become more prominent.
Right.
But, you know, this guy, Farm P, one very brilliant fellow
Absolutely.
that I've come across.
Right.
And we would speak on a level more times. I brought you to we had wings one time, and I told you come through.
Right.
And what did you take from
that? Farm P, man. It feels like I knew him for a long time.
Yeah. It's
just the way how he's talking.
Yeah.
It feels like I know him for a long time.
But it's just the gems, bro.
Yes.
And like, you can't get that type of I shouldn't say can't. You likely won't get that type of knowledge from somebody who hasn't experienced life.
Right. Exactly.
And, you know, more times it's the older individuals, older than you, that have experienced more life than you.
Right.
So sometimes y'all just need to shut up, sit down and listen.
Absolutely.
To what these people are saying instead of thinking you know everything.
Right.
But I say all that to say, you know, he's not just coming here and sponsoring a certain product. I believe in his vision. I believe in the stuff he's saying when he speaks to me. Like, it's relatable and it's profound.
Right.
Like, I take it and I actually sit there and absorb it like, holy crap.
Right.
This is real. Like, I really, you know, I never thought about it a certain way. But I say that to say he's somebody who is about uplifting the culture.
Right.
So I say that to say, too, I don't just want sponsors that are just going to come and promote any frivolous thing.
Right.
You come to me saying you want to promote your nightclub event. I'm not trying to act like the hot girl in school.
Right.
But we're trying to also get sponsors that are about developing their culture as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he is our first sponsor of the episode.
Right.
Of the People's Podcast. So
that's big, man.
Yeah,
I feel nice though.
After 4 years, of pre-live, where ain't nobody.
Man, we were trying to get that Grace
sponsorship, bro. But you know, no, at the end of the day, we were wrong. We were wrong.
True.
It's like us going and trying to get a school board sponsorship, but we cussing on the place.
Right.
Nah, we were wrong. Maybe now we could probably reach out to Grace and they might actually, but either way, yeah, we're gonna have a lot more in-depth conversations
Right.
with the individual we spoke about for MP in the coming episodes.
For sure.
But y'all will see that unfold in due time.
Right.
So I remember before the ad that we just played, bro,
Yeah.
we finally got paid.
We
We going to the Strizzy or
And this guy talking about he's growing up.
we got
Some things will never change.
I'll go get some loonies. Yeah, you develop some points
Yeah.
based
So
off of the conversation.
yeah. So I put together 5 quick points. I feel like are important in terms of wealth and family.
Write this down.
Yeah.
Write it down.
Take out a pen. Take out a paper. Number 1, clarifying, your values and setting goals. What are the most important to you? What are your highest priorities and why? Knowing and getting in touch with your deepest values helps you set the proper goals and helps you develop a plan to achieve them. Number 2, insurance planning. A lot of you guys skip over this. Life is unpredictable. Insurance protects you and your loved ones. A solid financial plan incorporates the right type of insurance and the right amounts. In the right season of life, you will need life insurance when you are raising your family. So I'm gonna pose this question to everybody. Everybody have life insurance? Everybody have life insurance? Buzz, you have life
I
insurance?
don't even know. I'm gonna be honest with you. Probably.
And that's important. I remember there was a I tried to get life insurance maybe about like three or 4 years ago, and I could get life insurance, but they were charging me. The reason why they were charging me, and it wasn't like they charged for life insurance, but they were charging me a lot for life insurance. And the reason why they were charging me a lot for life insurance is because I'm overweight.
Wow.
And a lot of people don't take this in consideration. When you're overweight, they tend not to want to give you life insurance.
Jeez.
And it was an eye opener for me since then. Because since then, because I didn't care about my health. Like, now I'm starting to. Because, like, anything can happen.
Facts.
And if anything can happen and I don't have life insurance, what are my kids getting? You know what I'm saying? And it's a serious topic. It's real. Mind you, I've lost a little bit of weight. They have reassessed me. I'm still paying, not as much as before. But I'm saying this to say this, like, if you're a big guy like me, get your health in check.
It affects the bread. Not only that, but
Not just that.
you could die. Like something could happen.
No, your family. It can affect your family in the long term.
Got you.
Number 3, trust, wills, and power of attorney. Who will handle your finances after, if you're unable to? Having the attorney creates your will, trust, or power of attorney is an important first steps in delegating your authority. Number 4, titling of your assets. Make sure your assets are titled properly is essential in making sure that your financial plan unfolds according to your wishes. And number 5, it's pretty simple. Manage and organize your documents. These are important documents. File them properly. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I want to end off by posing this question. What do you want your legacy to be?
You asking me?
I'm just asking.
Yeah,
you want to answer?
No. That's a deep question.
It is a deep. It is.
I know the answer, but we don't have time for that. We're trying to make this an hour.
I'm just trying to get people to think, because like this life is not forever, right?
Facts.
And we're talking about wealth. We're talking about wealth within the family. What is your legacy? What do you want to leave behind?
Bro, I mean, the tip of the iceberg answer to that question is I again, my mind has expanded far past just the fet to fet,
Right.
and trying to make this fet pop. It's way beyond that.
Right.
JKD and I and Deli and whoever else we decide to bring on board is not sitting here doing these podcasts, not getting paid $1,
Yeah.
except a little money farm fee.
Yeah.
Going to the strizzy after this. But we're not getting paid. We're not getting paid. Facts.
Right. True.
And we're not doing this for no reason.
Right.
I understand, like, this is my brainchild at the end of the day. I brought this to you guys and I said, yo, what this could do for our community is bigger than any money we can get paid.
Right. Absolutely.
We got to take responsibility. Just because we're not on some big movie platform or TV platform or radio platform doesn't mean we should just come here cursing down the place.
Exactly.
And talking stupidness. Yeah, we could talk a little stupidness here and there. That's what we do. That's just us. We're friends beyond this.
Right.
That's just me and JKD.
Right.
But besides that, the valuable information that we're bringing to you guys is stuff that some of y'all don't even care about.
Oh,
And it's not always your fault either.
yeah. True.
It's just not in your circle. You're not exposed to that, so you don't know it.
Right.
And I get it, but we got to make platform. That's what being a leader is.
Right.
And to me, my legacy has gone, or the vision for my legacy, like I posted on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
The clip from Jasmine Lee's podcast.
Right.
It's beyond FETS now.
Right.
I'm thinking so far past Soca Sleepover or Tsunami.
Right.
Those things are just immediate little gains that will get me to the bigger picture. But my legacy is to be looked back at as somebody that literally changed the entire game to the point where the work that I did affected everybody, not only in my circle, but my audience.
Right.
Those people now have the knowledge to bring that down to their grandchildren.
Right.
That's some serious shit.
Right.
I ain't know I just did a sick tsunami, bro.
Right. Exactly.
I'm a legend now. Come on. And I'm doing this. I'm actively doing this, so I could say it.
Right.
But that's not where that's what my legacy is. And it's not just for my family. Like, y'all are my family, bro.
Right. Yep.
You don't have to be blood for that.
Right.
Y'all are family, and I want to see you guys elevate higher than me if it could happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? And as long as I could see that through, and my visions and my goals end up to a point where I could see that what I've done has like essentially changed the game.
Right.
And changed the game so much that everybody that's taken in my content use that as valuable information.
Right.
That's probably more valuable than a lot of y'all spent on y'all schools. Y'all still paying off OSAP for what? What did you learn? That's my question. What did y'all learn with that university degree? Some of y'all did, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But most of y'all, I don't remember what essay I wrote in that class. Come on, man.
Right.
That's my answer to that question.
True. And I pose that to the viewers watching, you know, what is your legacy that you're going to leave behind? And that's something to think about.
Go in the comments, guys.
Yep.
Like JKD said, write, even if it's a sentence, could be a long sentence, but a sentence. What is y'all legacy?
Right.
What do you want that to be? What does that look like?
Right.
You know? So, you know, once again, I believe that was all you had for the wealth segment,
Yes,
correct?
I did, yeah.
So once again, guys, just a quick reminder, we are looking for volunteers, and we are also looking for interns that would like to help with this project. You know, again, my goals and my visions for this podcast is well beyond what we're doing here.
Yeah.
And I eventually plan on having a full-blown studio for this and multiple people working, and I'm paying all of y'all.
Right.
You're my co-host, JKD.
Right.
There's your salary. I'm not talking a little paycheck, strizzy money. Salary. You understand?
Hey, man,
Deli, you're the video director. Here's your salary.
Right.
That's what my mind is at right now.
Right.
And we're looking for interns who are willing to come on board to help with the project to get it to that point.
Right.
We're looking for anybody who has their own business
that
they would like to advertise on this platform. And, you know, we talk our foolishness, but it's a lot of realness and seriousness that we're bringing to the table.
So Grace, if you want to sponsor us now, we clean up our act.
We're
sorry.
What I'm saying? We're sorry, Grace.
We're sorry.
They were responding to us in the comments too, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm sure when they pull up on one episode, no.
They probably heard the podcast.
And Grace get offended. Yeah. Grace turned she grave. But yeah, early sponsors, investors. The price is low right now as the views. You know, the views are actually really good.
They are.
We've been analyzing the views, and we have across platform. Anywhere from 500 each platform, huh?
Yeah.
Anywhere from 500 to 1,000 plays per episode.
Nice, wicked.
And we're on episode 5 here.
Right.
This is like for those of you that think we're new to this, JKD and I did an entirely different podcast
Right.
for 4 years
Yes.
before we did this one
Yep.
called the Pre-Live. And those of you that are avid listeners of us from back then, y'all know.
Yeah. Yep.
Y'all actually are probably the lucky ones when we get to a certain stage, because y'all could sit there and be like, yo, I actually knew these guys
Right.
from when they were not the People's Podcast,
Right.
when they were Pre-Live.
Right.
And you guys got a serious lens
Absolutely.
view into our 20s.
Yep.
Me and you shared pretty much all of our 20s and the craziness.
Pretty much.
Like what we said last week. Me and Jake and he go to a club downtown. This Caucasian gal out of nowhere comes and rubs our pieces. I said, yo. And then she gave my camera the finger when I put up the camera, like, yo, this gal just rubbed our pieces. What's going on here? And she go like this.
Yeah.
Yo, move from here, nutty gal. But yeah, y'all really saw a serious different side to us that is gone off the internet now.
Right.
So big up to you guys. Last but not least, make sure to remember to follow and subscribe to us on all platforms. That includes YouTube, especially, guys. Everybody listening to this, go to YouTube. We have the link in our bio on Instagram. Click the link and just follow us on all the platforms.
Right.
If you mess with us, you love us, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, Google Podcasts.
Right.
All right. And lastly, we encourage the liking,
Yep.
subscribing, commenting,
Share. All
sharing,
that.
all the good stuff.
Right.
You know, that's we're asking for sponsors and volunteers and investors. But at the end of the day, those little intricate things are ways that you could help us
Absolutely.
without even really devoting much of your
Yep.
time.
Exactly.
All it takes is a couple clicks and you're on about your day.
Exactly.
And that's a way that you could help us for free.
Yep.
So we ask that you guys could do that for us, please. And thank you. We're devoting our time to do this.
Yep.
And we would appreciate if you could do that for us.
Yep.
Next, on the subject of health. Health as well.
Yep.
This one's an interesting, very interesting topic. Now, we'll do the post editing. I'll put the picture right here
Right.
so you guys on the YouTube could see it. But for those of you that can't see it, I'm going to read out to you exactly what this post is saying. Now, I saw the post and I actually posted it on Instagram to get some feedback from people. And I got some
Did
pretty
you? I
good-
didn't even see that.
Yeah, I got some
Okay.
pretty good responses, to be honest. Bro, we be messaging we be messaging each other so much craziness on WhatsApp. I have to scroll through all of this to find.
I found it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Now this picture, guys, for those of you on the audio platforms that can't see the screen, this picture shows on the top half of the picture 50 Cent
Yep.
at 46 years old on the Super Bowl stage.
Right.
I'm sure many of y'all saw that
Performance.
visual, the
Yeah.
performance.
Yeah.
But beside it are various captions that of people's comments
Right.
under the post that 50 Cent made. 46 years old, 50 Cent on stage at the Super Bowl. Looks like never left the candy shop. Looks more like a whole dollar now. Let himself go. Got rich and fat.
Right.
That's 50 Cent on the top half.
Right.
Bottom half now is Lizzo. A picture of Lizzo, the female artist,
Right.
plus size female artist, 33 years old. Beside her are captions that people have said. Empowering, stunning and beautiful. Role model, body positive, a breath of fresh air. Now, I found it really really interesting, to see that. And I said to myself, I really don't like the double standard
Mm-hmm.
of double standards.
Mm-hmm.
When it's towards a certain group,
Right.
that's a no-no. That's a red flag.
Right.
But then when the same foundation or sentiments of what's happening there
Right.
happens to another group,
Right.
nah, he can handle it. It's okay. Don't worry about that. It's just 50.
Right.
Why is it okay? In this particular instance, let's look at it like this. Why is it okay for Lizzo to be how she is?
Right.
And we need to uplift and be positive towards her.
Right.
But 50 gained a little weight. Now everybody's on his case.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Again, I think it's a double standard of a double standard. I think we as men are perceived as people who can take licks. If you get what I'm trying to say, like we can take it, so it's okay for things to be said. For women, they're on the softer side, the emotional side, so you have to walk around tiptoe saying certain things. And that's not always the case, Some men actually do get, they're aware of, like, they do get uncomfortable, especially when talking about weight too. Like, they get uncomfortable talking about mental health. They get uncomfortable talking about certain things. And we live in a day and age now where, like, we have to realize that has to change.
Yeah. And to me, it boils down to our pasts.
Right.
And the way we were brought up. I don't know about you. I'm pretty sure it's like this across the board in the West Indies. But my Trini family back home is the worst when it comes to talking about weight.
Right.
You might have put on a little 5 pounds. Oh, good. Look at you.
Yeah.
You're getting so fat. And they'll say it calm, like as if you're having a regular conversation. But the toll that has on you, like, wow, the way they said that, something wrong. And then you going to school with these kids now, they all teasing and stuff.
Right.
But it's all being thrown at you at once.
Yeah.
From your family even.
Right.
Certain people at home get weary about their weight because people at home is commenting on that stuff.
Right.
Those are serious. That as much as it's weight, it's also a mental health issue because sometimes you can't get out of that.
Right.
You're stuck in a place and your weight is just going up, but you're not even sure mentally how to get out of that, much less physically.
Right.
So that's taxing in itself, and now you have to worry about your own family commenting.
Exactly.
To flip it on the other side now and to be the devil's advocate, this was a response that I got, and one of the only counter responses.
Okay.
It was a lot of guys that were men positive, being like, "Oh yeah, well we can't talk about women. The moment we do that, rah 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 rah."
Right.
But women could say anything, which is it could be true to an extent.
Right.
But a woman messaged me, and she actually said a very good point. She said 50 causes a lot of that, and that might be his karma. Because the way he be posting about people, is very aggressive.
True.
He's always attacking people's looks, people's weights, etc.
Right.
And this was his clapback now.
Right.
So when she said that, I was like, you know what? That is a fact. What you put out there, it comes back to you.
Yep.
Karma's a real thing.
True.
And to be honest, I don't feel like one or the other is okay. It's just all across the board. We need to do what's right.
Right. Yeah.
I can't stand hearing that sometimes. Yeah, well, with women, no, you got to be tiptoe.
Right.
They're more emotional. It's like, okay, well, what happened to guys' emotions?
Right, exactly. Like they don't exist.
Guys don't have emotions.
Right.
And then when we're emotionless now,
right.
Oh my God, you don't care about anything.
Yep.
So when are we supposed to win?
Right.
Facts. You understand? So it's a double-edged sword, and I understand the situation of 50 bringing this on himself, so to speak.
Right.
But at the same time, it does bring up an important conversation that all of y'all pay attention to, man. The stuff y'all say to people, be weary of that.
Yep.
If you're making jokes or stuff in light, and the other person's a recipient of that joke and they understand the joke, all right, out.
Exactly.
Do your thing. But, little comments that you make, it could be serious to a person's mental health.
Yep.
Just keep that in mind, guys, and that's a serious thing.
Right.
It's a real thing out here on these streets. Last but not least, before we get out of here, we got to talk about a couple entertainment subjects.
Okay.
No. As I said, I'm in London right now, guys. Yep. I'm in the UK, bruv. All right. I'm just keeping my head low because it's serious out on the street. I just watched Top Boy. It's serious out here.
Okay, JV.
Sonny. What are you talking about, JV?
You are not no Sonny.
I am definitely Sonny. Sully. All right. Call me JV. That's disrespectful.
You're more like Steph.
I still don't know who that is.
Steph. You don't know who?
Bro.
Jamie's brother. One of Jamie's brothers.
The young you?
Yes.
Oh. And you were saying the girl that he was with. Anyway, Top Boy. A UK TV series that's on Netflix.
Right.
I believe they're on, it's weird how the seasons are. They're on season 2, but there's other Top Boys seasons.
There was 2 seasons prior to Drake and
Got you.
them taking it over.
Right. So the latest ones that are on Netflix, Drake is a producer or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
He's heavily involved.
Yeah.
But the production quality drastically increased,
Yep.
and
Yep.
the content is actually really good.
Yes. Yes.
It's the UK spin-off or UK version of the drug and gang violence
Right.
in that part of the world, and it's
Right.
very interesting to see that.
Right.
At the end of the day, it really boils down to money, power, and
Respect.
respect.
Yeah.
The foundations of shows like that, and watching it beside, like, if sometimes you just need to turn a blind eye to the real graphic stuff
Right. Right.
in order to retain the actual value of the show.
Right.
And I think Top Boy is a very well put together show
Absolutely.
that people should watch. It's good for entertainment, but you could also learn a lot. Hierarchy of, even though it's a drug game,
Right.
hierarchy of a business.
Right.
Having the top boy, quote
Right.
unquote.
Right.
Having your workers,
Right.
etc. You could there's a lot of takeaways.
Right.
So Top Boy is one. Another one, bro. This one blew my mind. I was not expecting this one.
And which one's this?
Bel Air.
Really good show.
Standing O.
Yeah.
For
Really
that
good
one.
show. Really good show.
Standing O for Bel Air.
Right.
So what do you think overall? Like
Production. Yes and no, because I started watching the previous the latest episode today, and I'm halfway through.
Interesting. So what do you think about it?
It's good, man. It's good. I mean, they made Jeffrey a road man. I was actually crying when he's like, "Yo, Wagwan Will."
Yeah.
I was like, Will knows. No.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You need me to deal with it, bro.
Yeah. But no, it's really good. They made it into more of like a what would you call it?
Dramedy?
A drama kind of show.
Dramedy, I would say.
And it's real life stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's good. It's really good.
Love it. Probably one of the best reboots of all time,
Yes.
in my opinion.
Yes.
I really didn't think I was gonna like it, especially seeing like a knockoff Will.
Right.
But then when I actually watched it, I'm like, yo, this guy could really act.
Right.
Which, by the way, did you see him on Breakfast Club?
No.
Bro, the man has such a good interview. Huh?
Okay. I'll take that in.
Then it went to the end of the interview.
Yeah.
You know when they put the
Yeah.
this is the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
They came right back on.
Okay.
And they're like, I don't know why he's doing this to himself, but he just asked if he could rap. In the interview, he said he used to rap.
Right.
So apparently he was like, why y'all ain't asked me to rap? So Envy's like, yo, I don't know why he's doing this to himself, but we're turning back on the cameras. He wants to rap. All right, play something for him. Bro, that man flopped so hard. They gave him 3 different beats too. He's like, yo, nah, man, I need new stuff. I need new stuff. Give him the new stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Bro, and Charlamagne just there like, yo, I don't know why you're doing this to yourself. You could go. But bro, he's a very intelligent kid.
Yeah.
You could tell that he has that cocky sense to him
Right.
already.
Right.
And he's going to need that humbling.
Right.
But
well, I hope that humbled him.
I really hope it did. Because a lot of people, especially once Bel Air really starts to blow up, people are going to watch that.
Exactly.
But overall, excellent production.
Yep.
If you don't know what it's about, and I'll put it this way, I put 4 or 5 different people on it.
Okay.
All of them have loved it.
Right.
And the production, it's more or less taking many pieces of the essence of Fresh Prince that we know.
Yeah.
And like the iconic scenes.
Yeah.
And incorporating those iconic moments,
Right.
but developing an entire story base that's contemporary for today.
Right.
And has today's issues.
Right.
Drugs.
Right.
Sexuality.
Right. Exactly.
Business. All of that is today's stuff. So
Right.
it's a really good watch.
Yeah.
And you do learn a lot watching that. Again, it's entertainment. It's elevating entertainment.
Right.
It's stuff that could actually improve or refine and sharpen your skills at what you do.
Big up Uncle Phil, man.
Yeah.
Phil's.
I didn't know how to feel about him at first.
So, fun facts that I found out about Uncle Phil. He's Canadian.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He's Canadian.
Interesting.
And his background is Bayesian.
Yeah. Man.
So big up Uncle Phil.
Look at that.
Yeah, man.
I'm surprised you didn't do any work on Hillary. What's Hillary? Are you too busy watching? You too busy watching Coco. All right. This is the perfect time to wrap this up. This man said Coco. Jesus Christ.
Hot chef.
The sexy chef. What are the first things I said this man Bel Air? Say, yo, watch this, bro. It's sick. Before he tell me, yo, the show's sick, bro. I love it. This episode was crazy. The first thing the man tell me, yo, Hillary's sexy, bro.
Hey, man. Am I wrong?
Nah, she's
Okay.
Anyway, y'all, we would like to thank you once again for listening to the
Yes,
People's Podcast. We appreciate you. We'll be back next week with a special guest.
Yep.
We're in the process of getting that organized and presented to you guys.
Yep.
But we've done one about entertainment. We had Kevin Crown. Big up our brother Kevin Crown. If you haven't listened to that yet, go and listen to it. We have had Jasmine Lee speaking about real estate and how to build wealth
Right.
around that.
Right.
And, we want to have topics or guests that fit the topics we do on a week-to-week basis.
Exactly.
So the next one, we're probably going to be looking at a relationship guest or an
Right.
entertainment guest. But you'll see all of that next week on the People's Podcast. So in the meantime, what you guys could do is follow us at the People's Podcast. That is ThePPLS, the fake acronym of People's. The People's Podcast _ on Instagram. You can get all your updates there.
Yes.
We're on YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcasts. I'm going to have to find out a better way of saying that. I'm not saying that every time. Of course, big up our sponsor, Farm P.
Yes.
Our first sponsor ever.
Yes, sir.
And he told me that too. He's like, again, big up to him because he's like, yo, besides me paying y'all and wanting to advertise my brand,
Right.
I believe in y'all and what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Yeah.
Nobody does
That's
this.
that. Right.
And I understand the value of what you guys are doing. So not only do I want to use your platform to promote, but I want to help you guys with the
Right.
money I'm giving you.
Right.
Bro, I took that and reinvested it right back into the platform.
Yep.
We ain't going to no strizzy. I was just joking.
Yeah.
But we invested it right back into our
Right.
people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we hope to see the show continue to grow in that fashion. And we'd like to thank everybody for listening. Once again, this is the People's Podcast, and we out.
Peace.